to watch and listen. Talking qua ayatli at yes at onenoch, yaha ki kandias kakochnoch. But in the wintertime, when it got dark early and the storms were many, they had trouble coming to our shores. Atchayach ahneau de shechanoch and shukach, a cock hoyas kakochnoch. So they lit beacon on the fires for them, so they guide them to the beach. At night, they look like fires on the water. Ya shati hanke chati josene yataya, ataya kuna chisha sikachta saka kuna chisha. These stories that we tell do not belong to us. They belong to the great clans of the Tlingit nation. Permission has been given to us by the leaders of the Tlingit people. And for that we thank them. Goodness, cheesh, yaj.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Do you have stories that you'd like to share with us this afternoon? What have you brought to tell us today?
The story that I'm going to tell, this story belongs to the Tlukahadi people, which I am. And many times, they think of us as having no education at all before the Russians came here. And this is a story that talks about education, how important education is to our people, that a man gave his life for it. And that's why I want to tell this story. There was a family of Tlukahadi, an uncle and two nephews. He was in charge of the education of his nephews. Long time ago, the uncles were always in charge of the education of his nephews. So at one time, his two nephews, they killed somebody in an eagle side. So in the Tlingit way, in the Tlingit nation, the rules, the law of the Tlingit people was an eye for an eye. The eagles came over and they demanded the life of the two men that had killed the eagle. They were in the right for demanding this because that was the law. So then this raven man, he said, yes, my nephews have done this. Therefore, you can take their lives. And you don't just go in there and kill them on the spot. There has to be a ceremony. There has to be things that go on before any killing takes place. So the man thought about this. Why did his nephews make this mistake? He was in charge of their education. And he's always taught them how precious life is to our people, that they were not to kill another human being. Yet, they done it. They killed somebody. So as he was thinking about it, he thought, I must have failed as a teacher, and that's why my nephews have killed somebody. So then he asked for the eagles to come back. And they met and talked. He talked to the eagles and he told them, my nephews had made a mistake. I am in charge of their education. So therefore I failed. So you must take my life and let my nephews live. So the eagles went back and they talked about it themselves. And the ravens, they met and they talked about it. They talked about it, what was going to happen, how they were going to do this. They wrote a song, they composed a song. so they could remember this. They done all these things, and then the eagles came back. And they said, okay, we accept that. We will take your life and let your nephews live. So then the time came that they were to get ready to take his life. He told the raven, he told his people, he said, if there's really life after death, you will see northern lights playing on this canoe that we have on a beach. And so they got ready. The eagles appointed the highest ranking hunter, the best hunter they got, to do the killing. He was not to suffer. They got some skin to put it on the ground in case he fell, that his body would not touch the ground. They appointed people to catch this man before his body touched the ground after he was killed. This was the ceremony that they talked about, that the respect that our people have for each other, for all things. The respect that they had, this man that they were going to kill. So the